Welcome everyone to Woodman Live. I am going to be your host for this show and hopefully many shows in the future. My name is Kleika from, as you guessed it, Iron Pulse. Now, I have with me three wonderful gentlemen from the Woodman server, obviously three wonderful people. I have with me EDT Ganelon, KOTV Joshino, and REBR, or REBR, Charlie. I'm going to give each of those three 10 seconds to introduce themselves and their outfit real quick. Let's do it alphabetically, and let's start with Charlie. Charlie, your 10 seconds now.
Hi there, my name's Charlie. I'm an officer in the REBR Rifles, or NC on the Woodman server. We are part of the Easy gaming community. We play all kinds of stuff aside from Planetside, which is our main focus at the moment. If you're part of the NC and you want to join up with some guys that have a good laugh, do organised operations, that kind of thing,
and that was 10 seconds. Thank you very much, Charlie. He almost got everything in there. So, thank you, Charlie, from the Rebel Rifles. Next up would be EDT Ganelon, our Terran Republic representator. Your 10 seconds now.
Right, my name is Ganelon. I'm the leader of EDT. If you want to just have fun and play the game properly, then please contact us and sign up.
This man knows how to make 10 seconds count. He even gives some to spare. And next up, we have KOTV Joshino. Your 10 seconds to shill your outfit and yourself now.
I'd just like to say it's pronounced Joshino, and we're quite big, and that's it, really.
This man makes the 10 seconds all about himself. I like that. Anyway, thank you three guys. We're going to stop being all radio announcery now, and we're going to actually go into it. Thank you for showing up and joining me in this. This is the first show, so I hope we can actually make this interesting. Now, what this is all about, I have these three representators from the three different factions and or representatives, and we're just going to talk about topics that have to do with our server and with things in general that are going on with the PS4. Now, a topic that, of course, is currently, I guess, the most talked about, especially when it comes to Woodman, is the problem of overpopulation. And not just, overpopulation because of everything on the server having too many players, because we have a lot of noobs ever since it became recommended, but mostly the overpopulation of the VS compared to the other two. So let's go into that real quick. Again, what do you guys think about the overpopulation that is currently happening? Is it actually impacting the server as much as people are making it out to be? Ganelon, what do you think?
I think it is really impacting the server because we've got more TR going for fights with the NC right now. For more fair fights, no overpop going on. And if you see the alerts before the overpop started, we were still winning some of them, not all, like VS still won most, but we were still winning some, and now we're just winning none of them at all anymore. We just got outnumbered very quickly.
Yoshino, what do you say to that?
I think basically it just boils down to how many people that you have organised. It doesn't really matter about the massive Zerg. Like you can see in some continents at the moment, like TR are a bit higher up on them, and like sometimes you can have a fight where it's quite equal. But obviously, with the less people coming in and getting less people trained up, then you're having less people in the properly going to the alerts. Like the other day, some of the VS was 62% overpop on Amrish, but only the VVG and KOTV were actually going for the biolabs, which I thought was quite weird. But I don't know. I don't think it's massively to do with the population. I think that some part of it is you have to get more people trained up and into the action. If you know what I mean. That's my 2 cents anyway.
Charlie, how does the NC see the overpop? I mean, you guys are obviously the middle population right now. I mean, the TR is very underpopped compared to the Vanu especially, but how's the NC faring with the Vanu overpop?
Well, I think it really depends on the situation. I kind of agree with Joshino in that respect, because you can have the sort of two Zergs facing off against each other, which happens a lot, especially in Indar and things like that. But quite a lot of the time, all it takes is just one or two organised squads or a platoon to just tip the balance, get rid of a Sunder, and have the rest of them push forward. I think it's very situational, but one of the problems, I think, is that on Indar, it tends to be pretty balanced most of the time, just because it's the most popular continent. But the problem comes in Esamir and Amerish, just because you guys do have a larger pop there as well, and we have most of our troops on Indar, and we can't really fight back that well with so few numbers. But yeah, it's a mix of both. And sometimes it is a game of pure numbers, and sometimes it comes down to strategy as well.
So this overpop, though, I mean, obviously, as Yoshino said earlier, people also need to be trained up and so on. I mean, the Zerg needs to be directed, stuff like that. Personally, when I play on the Vanu, I notice the randoms a lot myself. I mean, obviously, they're not shooting at me, or at least most of them aren't. But it's just... And we are back. For some reason, my program just crashed there. I hope that didn't make anyone very angry and they tuned out. I hope you're tuning back in, because I'm back here with EDT, Ganelon, KOTV, Joshino, and REBR, Charlie. And we were just talking about the randoms on the server. I was saying that the Vanu, with a lot of their randoms and their massive overpop, like, even I, as a Vanu myself, am noticing a lot of negative things about it. Now, Yoshino earlier said that the Zerg, obviously, or a lot of people have to be, educated on the game. The Zerg has to be managed and sent around. And one thing that I always wonder is, if I myself, as a Vanu, can tell, like, how weird those randoms act, and how they go to places where, like, sometimes you don't even expect them to. Like, you go to an empty mountain and suddenly there's like 40 people standing there for no reason. How do the other factions actually notice this? Like, do you see coordinated Zergs just rushing your bases, or do you also just see Vanu in every corner? Ganelon, how does a TR usually notice that?
I see it as a massive, unorganized Zerg rushing towards a point. But the problem is not that you can stop those easily, but the problem is that they're usually backed up by a more organized outfit, such as IP or KOTV or VVG. That's the problem. They throw numbers at the point. There's lots of bodies at it, and then the organization comes after it, which is usually a problem we struggle to fight against.
And Charlie, how does the NC cope with it?
Similar sort of situation. You often find that you'll arrive at a point, especially in the smaller facilities, this is a large problem, and you think, well, the point's pretty much covered with pubbies or randoms, but I can't get out of the spawn room because it's being locked down by people that are actually sort of playing a team game, annoyingly, keeping us in there.
So, but, like, is there anything good for that you can see in this in all these randoms? Like, even in this overpopulation for the Vanu, maybe. Like, is there anything where you think, like, oh, a lot of them are going to, not want to continue playing the game anymore soon enough, and so on, and then at least a lot of people are going to also stay to keep the population balanced? Do you think it's going to be like that, or is it really just because of the perceived overpowering or OP weapons that the Vanu, have right now?
I wouldn't say so. There are some situations where you can show up at a base and get completely steamrolled and can't really come back from it. But at the same time, you can take your fight to the other side of the continent. We'll go fight the TR instead and have a victory and that kind of thing. And I've never really thought that perpetual losing would make somebody quit the game that quickly, especially. So if someone just, for example, starts a new NC character and maybe loses their first 3 battles, I would assume that somehow they're going to get into a different battle after that. They're not going to constantly stay with the Zerg. They might go to Wargate, might go to a different continent, might hit instant action, get to play somewhere else. So I don't think it's too much of an issue on that side. But it's always good to see the big numbers, because that's kind of what Planetside is about as well. And on the flip side of things, we do want everybody to kind of enjoy the game as well, because then it means more people to shoot and just a better overall experience. And if you guys are winning, that's obviously going to help your newbies.
Ganelon, do you see it that way too, or do you have anything else to add?
I think it is quite obvious that people have quit the TR. Just because the massively underpopulated TR population we currently have, but I think that also provides a reason for outfits to get more organized and to get their shit together a bit better. And we also just have, like, general more the core players remain, having a more skilled player base, leaving behind a more skilled player base after the massive underpopulation.
So it's basically what you think is that the TR is right now in kind of the same situation that the VS on Woodman has been in the past. I mean, for example, Yoshino, you can probably also still, or Yoshino, you can still remember when the VS were heavily underpopulated and we guys were basically fighting for, the scraps the TR and the NC left us. And a lot of our people, many people left, a lot of people stayed and came out a lot stronger than they would have been if we had a proper population or an overpopulation.
Yeah, that was like a few months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah.
So, I mean, you as, KOTV, I mean, we don't have to mince words. I mean, you guys are obviously huge, and you gain players at a very steady rate, I can imagine, especially now when a lot of new players are flooding in. I mean, KOTV tags are everywhere. People see the outfit. A lot of people obviously want to be part of the outfit. Are you guys noticing, from the influx of new players, are you noticing that these are players who are actually interested in the game and want to stay, or are these literally just flavor of the month players?
It's hard to say. Like, I'd say half and half. Like, we clean out the outfit every week. At the moment, we're cleaning out like 300 people because they've gone AFK for a week after like the battle rank 1s, battle rank 2s. That's all what we do. So we can see that there's like loads of people that just come on for a day and just try it out, and then they get invited and we have to get rid of them. But yeah, there's like a lot of people. As like our TeamSpeak's got much more busier now, and there's today there was 150 people online at once, which we've never seen before. So yeah, it has got a bit busier. But
150 people on TeamSpeak.
No, in game.
Oh,
There's
okay.
about 50 people on TeamSpeak.
Oh, okay.
Can you name them all?
No way. But you used to know like squads and things, and you have your own friend groups. It's a bit different, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. But so you would say that a decent amount of the people who are currently Vanu and are causing the overpop are probably also going to stay. They're not just doing it right now and then going like, oh well, I'm gonna switch to TR because they just got a one-shot, one-kill, 100% accuracy weapon.
Well, I think I don't know, because like the people that join platoons are people that are already like most people don't even know how to join a platoon like to start with. So when people join public platoons and things, it's like a step forward. So you always know that they're sort of the more committed players. So you can't really tell like the big population of people because the randoms are just going to go around shooting their guns in the air, missing all the time. They're not joining any platoons or anything. So you can't exactly say that they're all going to stay or what. Like, this could be like a small chunk of people still. Like, even though it's like hundreds of people, it's still like a small chunk of the people joining, if you know what I mean.
Ganelon, I mean, I think we all know that EDT is not one of the bigger outfits, but has the TR, I mean, even if you guys have been losing pop, I mean, I cannot imagine that the Terran Republic isn't getting any new players. Like, I really can't imagine that when someone starts up the game and he's a new player, that seriously like 50% of them choose Vanu and 50% of them choose NC. So have you guys, I mean, I know you're recruiting and all, have you at least also noticed at least a small influx of new TR players? Or is there seriously such a drought as it's made out to be?
Well, there is a difference in. Usually, we get like 3 steady players a month, which is we get. That means we get 10 players, maybe applications and stuff, but usually only 3 remain. The others just go inactive or different outfit, whatever. But now we've had like 3 people join in a week, so we might have a small increase, but I'll have to see at the end of the month, which is when I calculate members we've gained and kick the inactives.
Have you heard anything from other TR outfits, or just by, like noticing at the warp gates or so on? I mean, a lot of the times when you're standing at a warp gate, you can see all these people without outfit tags and so on. Is that just not happening at the TR side?
I have seen a ton of random pubbies sitting around at a warp gate, without an outfit tag or anything. So they're not actually doing anything. Maybe, like, the only Zerg fit we've really got currently is Yar, and that is really small for a Zerg fit. So we don't really have anything that sends out mass invites, and we've already got the screening process of sending an application on the site, which makes us already smaller than competing outfits. So we're not gaining a ton of members.
Charlie, how's that on the NC side? Like when you usually log in on one of the warp gates or so on, do you see a good amount of newbies, outfitless newbies, or is it more like just old faces you've seen for months?
Well, I've certainly been killed by a lot of battle rank 6 heavy assaults on the NC recently, so yeah, we are seeing a bit of a population spike. There seems to be a lot of outfitless people, but they tend to get into gods. There are, I guess, the Zerg fit, but we love them for it. As for our own outfit, we are always sort of perpetually recruiting. What we will do is we'll run public platoons and things like that, but we will trim the platoon as we go. So if somebody's not following orders, that kind of thing, if they're not taking active part, then they get booted out. And then every now and again, if we say, hey, this guy's been following us around, he's doing good, he's talking over comms, we'll ask him if he wants to join the outfit. And we've gained a few members quite recently using that sort of approach. And we're quite happy to sort of take people through the game and tell them how things work, tell them what the difference is between the grinder and the hacksaw, that kind of thing. So yeah, there are quite a lot of people, but it just depends. We have the same sort of issues where you do get people joining up and then they go inactive after we can never come back. But I think that's just the way it's going to be with all games, especially with the free-to-play game as well. You don't really have to invest anything to get started in it. So some people are just going to come in and they're going to say, yeah, it's kind of cool, but, I want to play something else now.
Yeah, that's true. So, but now, I mean, of course there is this massive overpop and so on. And Ganelon, you earlier said that the underpop actually means that, you guys have to fight harder, obviously. I mean, you obviously always have to fight harder against more numbers. But it also, increases your skill. It gives you guys some... I would say like it gives you guys a better group feeling, seeing how you're kind of like you have this whole us few against the world thing kind of going on. Is how I imagine it, because that's how I remember it from months ago from the VS. Now, I wonder though, is there anything gameplay-wise which you can actually take away positively with this huge influx in enemy numbers?
It's a huge cert gain from the newbies, I'll give you that.
More XP.
So
it's just that like we have had members they have a lot more fun. Like they pull libbies now more because before it was just lots of skilled VS players pulling zone maxes. Now you can just with bursts and stuff doing lots of damage. But most of the pubbies don't even have bursts or zone maxes, and you just go in a liberator and just bomb the shit out of them.
So I mean, we all know EDT is an outfit that focuses on like more like surgical strikes and so on, because you yourself have said you usually do not really have the numbers for like large outfit play. Stop me if I'm saying something wrong there. But so would you say that this mass of mostly uncoordinated players actually plays to your strength? Because I can imagine you doing surgical strikes. I mean, even if you can't stop the waves coming at you, but I'm pretty sure that you guys can grab off a lot of them from the sides or with some cool maneuvers and so
on. We've basically stopped the surgical strikes. We just have 2 squads up usually, and we've one squad at least one squad fighting the front, like bearing the brunt of it with a couple of pubbies around them, just meat shield, whatever. And we've got one squad actively finding out Sunderus, squad deploying on Sunderus, C4ing it, stopping the Zerg, killing as many vehicles as possible to drain the resources. And if we lose the base, we move on to the base next in line, and we line up a defense there. If you got access to Prowler, fine, we deploy on a hill and shoot down, kill as many vehicles as possible. Again, just drain the resources, keep draining it, and eventually we'll just get like this. The other outfit will notice like something's going wrong there, and they push in and. The Zerg that was coming at us doesn't have the numbers anymore. Just doesn't have the vehicles, and they just can't do anything anymore.
Yoshino, I mean, you seeing how you represent the VS, and I mean you're playing with the overpopulation against the other two. Have you noticed any changes in gameplay for yourself for KOTV, like ever since the numbers have been swelling?
I don't know. It's got a bit lazier. Everywhere's always overpopped already. Like, as we were the guys that used to come along and then it'd get a bit heavier, like there'd be actually a platoon there, but now there's already like a platoon there, so you're always going in with the advantage. But
So
like, it's only been the last week though. It's only just very, very recently that's happened, really.
so would you say that it's like it's pretty hard, like not only for the smaller outfits but also for the big outfits to actually get the proper fights going that we love in Planetside?
I don't know. It depends. Like, on alerts, there's always like a good fight going somewhere because the pubbies don't go there because they're just not as organised. But off times, it's always more like a big Zerg, really. Yeah.
Charlie, that's actually something good that Yoshino just said there. Sorry, I keep saying Yoshino. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
It's fine. I'll just mispronounce it all night, and
No,
then
no,
you
I
can
was just
team kill me a
joking
little
earlier.
bit.
I
I
don't
can
care
see that
what
I'm
you
logging
pronounce
back
it
in.
as.
I'm logging back in the server in like 10 minutes or so, and the whole of KOTV is just standing at the warp gate shooting me. But no. Anyway, Charlie.
Like a...
Yes, Charlie. What I wanted to go into. Yoshino just said alerts. So we all know that in the last few weeks or so, or just like in the last time, there has been a lot of negativity towards alerts coming from the NC. So how is like Rebel Rifles? How is it? How are your thoughts about alerts? And like, what are you guys doing? Are you participating? And we are back. Sorry about that. This program does not seem to like me very much. Now, before we were so rudely interrupted, I just asked REBR Charlie the question. Charlie, the NC and alerts on Woodman. Now, we all know that lately the NC has not been very happy about alerts, and some say that a large part of the NC actually doesn't even participate in them. So how is REBR acting? What is your stance towards alerts, and what is the NC really thinking about them?
Well, you'll get a mix of opinions depending on who you speak to, even within our own outfit. What we try to do when the alerts come about is we try to take an active effort in them. But what I've personally found is that I think there seems to be something wrong with the timings in which the alerts are actually started. So, for example, if it's one of these ones, capture all the biolabs or something like that, it will seem to be that when these alerts start, the vast majority of the biolabs will be held by one particular faction across all the continents. And sometimes it has been NC, most of the time it is VS, you'll probably be pleased to hear. But that in itself poses some additional problems because it's not, because of the new lattice system, especially with Indar, it's not necessarily the case that we can just go straight to a biolab and have a fight. We sometimes, or quite often, will have to fight our way through other facilities. There might be small facilities, sometimes medium facilities, and in those things we can get caught up. And of course, if you're meeting a huge Zerg head on, it's going to be a hard battle, and sometimes it can just take so long to actually get to the biolabs or amp stations, whatever it is, that realistically we're probably not going to recapture them in the time frame that's allotted. Especially with the amp stations, like I don't think I've seen Zerg amp station since these new alerts went in.
It is a mystical place.
Yeah, it just seems to take so long to get there. But that said, at the same time, we do try to take part in them because, I mean, extra EXP is always fun. And last night there was a brilliant one. There's a brilliant fight down at Dhaka where both VS and TR were there. NC had a huge amount of numbers, and again, we didn't hold any of the amp stations, I think, but it was a great fight there. We were taking the satellite positions, and VS were holding Dhaka, and it was just it was not quite a stalemate, but it was going back and forth. We were being pushed back, and then we were pushing in, and it was just really what the game was about. So, on the whole, I'd say they're good, but they still need a little bit of fine-tuning to make it fair with the end result, I'd say.
So one thing that has been said a lot, like I'm not talking about the new alerts now because they are facility specific, and obviously you only get the bonus experience, the 20% bonus experience when you're actually inside the facility. So like you just said, Charlie, it can actually be pretty hard to get there. But I remember a time when the continent domination alerts were just starting, or territory control alerts, and as we all know, like once that alert begins, you get 20% bonus experience for everything you do on that continent. Like even if you are at the warp gate, you're getting 20%. bonus XP. Now, a large argument that the NC or also some other people, also some people in the VS, had brought forward at the time was, why would we participate in the alert for the chance of getting a really, really small amount of experience at the end of it? And they were talking about, the reward, which is based on how much percentage you own at the end. Now, I always argumented that you're not actually fighting over that reward, but you're more trying to have all these big fights, because if you fight for 2 hours with 20% bonus experience, you're probably going to get a lot more XP than the reward. Am I just seeing that wrong, or is there anything I forgot about it? Like, Ganelon, what do you think?
I think it's just the reason people don't want to fight on it is just because they see only XP in it, and like when the NC started saying they didn't want to join alerts, it just was simply because they've already lost so many. Like I've seen FFS, I think he say it, like they just didn't want to join alerts because they this and that. And the same is true for TR right now, because especially the new alerts, are just like kept all the biolabs. Well, we can only get population on one continent with the current situation. So yeah, we just usually don't bother anymore.
And Charlie, NC.
Well, regards to the old ones, I would agree with you entirely. That's the approach that we used to take, because we would have people saying, well, what's the point? I mean, they're going to take all the territory, we're not going to get it, we're just going to lose for 2 hours or something. But our response was, well, unless we're being warp gated, if we still have some territories, then you can get a good fight going. You're getting more experience, and aren't you tired of fighting on Indar anyway? It was good to get on the other continents. Even now it is, I enjoy playing on Amrish, I enjoy playing on Esmir, but I still think it's very hard to get people to go there. And I think that's probably something that's actually fundamentally wrong with the game, is that quite often if Indar's full, you'll see people on Amrish and Esmir, but they're not playing, they're just queuing for Indar. Even though you can go and play, they're just trying to get back on. But yeah, sorry, I deviated a bit there. But going back to your original point, we would agree with you entirely. We would play the alerts for the bonus EXP and for just getting a change of scenery.
So, Yoshino, I mean, obviously the VS never really had big problems getting fights going because we were basically everywhere. But what was it during alerts that made the VS go after them so vehemently? Because the other factions, a lot of people were saying, oh, well, we don't even participate, or the alerts don't matter and stuff like that. But from the start, the VS was always going after winning the alerts, getting that Vanu sovereignty is victorious at the end. Like, what was it that grabbed the VS so much about the alerts? Well, welcome back. That was it again. The friggin' program. Oh no, wait, we're all adults here. I can say fucking shitty program as much as I want.
No.
Oh no, he said it. Anyway, no, the shitty program apparently doesn't like to run that much on my computer, so now Ironpulse Spectre has taken over the broadcasting. He's been broadcasting for hours before. It's not going to happen.
Ooh.
Sorry for the interruption, people. I hope that you're back in and you're listening to us. I have with me EDT Ganelon, KOTV Joshino, and REBR Charlie. And I was just talking to our KOTV representative. Why exactly was it that the Vanu jumped on the alert so much when they came out? The other factions were kind of split half and half about it. Some liked them, others said we don't care about them, they don't matter. But the VS really went after the wins in those alerts. So what was it that grabbed the Vanu by the spandex-covered balls and pulled them in the alerts?
I don't know if it was a Vanu, but just like, I think every leader just wanted to get in it. Like, it's quite competitive, so it was always fun to get in on it. And I don't know, we had loads of leaders, so I think like there's lots of outfits, and then the big outfits. So we always had like, I don't know, maybe like 7, like at least squad leaders going. So, and I don't know, just it was fun. And
So you're saying the
I just
outfits
say-
started working together?
I don't know if they
What-
worked together, but everybody just wanted to go for it. Like, I don't know, I can't really explain it. Just everybody just felt like it was the thing to do. Like when KOTV were playing, we didn't play outside the alerts really, like properly. Like we only played properly when alerts came on, like getting galaxies and doing all the advanced stuff. Like it's sort of changed now, but when the first alerts came out, that's sort of how we played it. There wasn't any reason though, just sort of like that's just how it was.
So you say that people started playing and so on. I mean, one thing you can always read on the forums about Woodman. I'm sure Ganelon and Charlie agree because I've seen comments from you about this too. Is that the VS side on Woodman is, I'm not going to say super organized or anything, but there is an organization to it. Would you say, Joshino, that the alerts were what got the whole thing kickstarted off?
I think it helps because before there was a bit of tension before, obviously with IP and KOTV and everyone at FEK, but I sort of got over that. But like, just everyone, I don't know, it's weird because TR are trying to make this alliance, but with the VS, everyone just sort of chats on leader chat, and people say, "Oh yeah, I'm going here," and everybody else will be, "All right, I'll go there then," and like we'll go to different places and we'll just get on with it. Like we're all quite mature, I guess, in the VS leader chat most of the time, anyway.
So Ganelon, one thing that's been said about the TR a lot is that you guys have great players, you have great outfits, but everyone hates everyone. Is that true? Or are you guys actually just like just trying to set everything up right now?
Well, we don't hate everyone. There's just a barrier between outfits because I'm not sure if you're aware, but like Than is a German outfit, so the language barrier is there. And then you've got 208 who they're military realism, so that doesn't blend well with the more laid-back outfits such as 2CA, EDT, YAR. And then you've got YAR and EDT and 2CA just use leader chat all the time and orders to like communicate, but 208 and Than don't want to do it because they don't like leader chat for some reason. So we're just figuring out like how are we going to get people to use leader chat or find ways to communicate better with each other because currently it's just not working because they don't want to do this and yeah.
Charlie, how's the NC going? Because personally, I have to be honest, when I think about the NC, I think about specific outfits, but I never really think about a combined NC front. I never think about the NC. Is there actually something that exists already? Are you guys working on something? What is the new conglomerate up to?
Yeah, well, the leader chat in the new conglomerate side can be a bit colourful at times, but overall our outfits do actually work together quite well. There isn't really any animosity between outfits. There is the NCHQ, which is basically a collective of all the larger outfits. Though recently that's kind of dropped by. It used to be that all the major outfits would do an organized operation every second Sunday, and those were great fun. Great coordination between all the outfits. We'd have generally Gods being the largest, taking sort of the brunt of the Zergs, having the other outfits do more tactical things around the side. That always worked really well. But just sort of recently, in the past couple of months, that's kind of slowed down a bit. I think it's been in parts between partly because NCCT, which was our outfit before, had a bit of a split. Some people went to FFS and the rest of us came to REBR. But we are eager to get that going again. And as I said, there's not really any animosity between any of the outfits. So it's just a case of getting communicated and getting back in the game, really.
So is it actually important to have your whole faction working together? I'd like to hear like a little statement from each one of you about that, like how important it is to have your faction work together and what kind of position you see your own outfit in when it comes to, that kind of organization. Let's go alphabetically again. Charlie, what do you think?
I think definitely. I mean, every outfit is going to have its own individual strengths, as I said before. Gods have got numbers on the VS side, I'm sure KOTV do as well, for the sort of main brunt of things, and then each of the sort of smaller but organised outfits are going to have their own specialisations as well. For example, we love doing galaxy drops on facilities, capping them, taking them out, pulling Sundays, that kind of stuff, and we can pull a mean air cavalry as well, if I do say so myself. But it's just a case of, you need to get those things organised. You need somebody to say, right, we need help here, we need you to go here, and that kind of stuff, and just having that level of cooperation, because sometimes you can find that if one person takes charge of all the outfits, it's not necessarily how should I say this? People don't appreciate it that much unless it's been pre-assigned. So if there's one person that is just assuming control rather than being told, yeah, you can have the lead of this, then it gets a bit stressful. But like I said, we used to do NCHQ operations every second Sunday, and that would be a thing. So we'd say like, okay, this week this outfit is leading. Next week it's going to be these guys, and those would always go really well. As long as people follow orders, you can get about 10 times as much stuff done.
So Rebel Rifle is more of a leader outfit or more of a follower outfit?
We will lead when we need to, as we have got quite a few active members. I'd say we've got roughly about 100 to 120 active people at the moment, various points in the week. We are not at the stage where we can just pull up the lead for an alert. We do need to be organised beforehand, so we need to say, right, we're going to do this at this time and place, which I won't say here because then you guys will come and spoil our fun. But but we can definitely lead if we need to. We're quite happy to ask people, give people orders, just as long as they're willing to listen to us as well.
So that's the organizational side for the NC. Ganelon, enlighten us when it comes to TR. How important is it that you get organization going, and what is the role that EDT likes to take or takes?
It's very important for TR and Woodman to work together mostly because, like I said, we don't really have that big Zergford going on. The biggest we have is, well, probably Yar, because they have some organization. We also have Core, but I don't think they actually have any organization going on. They just join public platoons and be done with it. But yeah, it's very, very important for TR just because we have those smaller outfits and we don't really have one Zergford bashing, one way through the map or anything. What EDT does is, I don't really like taking the lead. I don't like that word because it could be, could not rub well with other outfits. So if we have to, we'll take the lead. In cases like the TR outfit meeting I, organized this Friday, stuff like that.
And Joshino, KOTV. Organization on the VS side, important, yes or no? And what is KOTV's role? What would you like their role to be?
Well, obviously, yeah, because organization is a massive thing. But I don't think, I think because we're a big outfit, it sort of helps the other outfits to just do their own thing. Like we can control 3 platoons and get them into the places, and we have that sort of command. And then when the other good outfits on our side, like IP, VVG, map. They know the map. They can see what's happening on the map and go to the places that they think they can help out at. So we're always plugging the gap for the bigger areas, and we have different platoons that are different levels of advancedness, like from the Zerg to people that follow every order of the squad leader. So I don't know, we could just do anything, and then obviously all the other good outfits go where they want to go, and we go where we want to go, and we'll just tell them on the leaders chat, and other people say on leaders chat where's in danger, where they need help. Everyone just sort of works together. It's not like one overarching leadership, although sometimes there's a bit of aggro on leaders chat, but it's always going to happen. But most of the time it's just saying, yeah, we're here, we need help or whatever, just moving around.
Okay, well, that is the organizational side, obviously very, very important, but let's talk about the gameplay side. As we all know, every one of us has guns, and when you shoot them at someone, he might actually die before killing you. Now, some of the guns, seeing how this is a video game and it's all based on numbers, some guns are just better than others. At least that is what the internet tells me. Charlie, what do you think? Is it true that right now the VS just has guns that outperform the other factions?
Well, it's very hard to make an unbiased statement about it, because I think what this game suffers from is the grass is always greener syndrome. Personally myself, I've been playing since alpha, but because I'm such a loyal, dedicated NC guy, I've never played a character of another faction. I just stick NC all the way. So I have my own opinions when I get killed with Pandoras and that kind of thing, and I think, that's bullshit. But I do rage on my own TeamSpeak, but I don't go to the forums to put about it, because I think, well, people are going to say that about my weapons as well. I've had ridiculously long kill streaks with the Phoenix when it first came out, for example. But you just gotta take it with a pinch of salt. You never know what the other person's experiencing. That could just be, for example, the one kill that guy got after a stream of 10 deaths, and it just happened to be a fucking awesome one that you were on the receiving end of. But yeah, I would say there are some guns that are definitely better than others. But I don't know. I actually think the game is pretty well balanced. There's certainly some things that still need tweaking and sorting out a bit, but overall, I'd say infantry combat's pretty good at the moment.
Ganelon. All I can say is Zoe and Saron, the two most whined-about weapons right now on the forums. I could probably link about 40 threads just from the first page of the official forums. What is your stance on that? Is it as overpowered? Does it need to be nerfed as much as the people are saying? What is the Terran Republic's thinking?
Well, here's the thing about Zoe. It is currently overperforming, I would say, but of course, it's like you're not going to nerf it as much as people on the forums demand, because that's always forums always have this hyperbole to them that they want to over nerf weapons. But I think that the main problem is that in comparison to the other abilities, it is too powerful because you get extra mobility and the increased damage outputs from the max. Well, like for TR to get that extra damage output, you have to lock down, and C just have some shield that doesn't allow you to fire if you use it. It's a bit weird. It's a bit wacky how the current system works with Zoe. And the Saren is kind of crazy how you can, like, how an AV weapon can kill infantry so easily.
So, what would you say should be done about it? Like, what is your feeling right now? Like, when you're fighting against the Zoe, when you're fighting against the Saren, what do you feel could bring them in line?
Who do you want to answer first?
Ganelon.
I honestly don't really know. Like, it's really hard to think of the Saren, which is its main benefit is the accuracy. But you might want to reduce its damage on infantry per shot. Maybe nerf it to 50% of the damage it currently does on infantry, something like that, or so you don't kill it and they get some time to get cover. And you've still got 6 shots left, so you can always hit them twice, which just makes it a bit harder to kill infantry with it. As for Zoe, I think that the 20 damage taken is fine. The speed increase, though, is a bit difficult to judge, because the problem is they just released Zoe with Zoe. The concept is just a bit bad. Increased mobility and increased firepower. It's just I don't think it mixes well, and I think combined it just has too much of an impact on current fights.
Joshino, you heard what the other two guys said. You're the one who actually uses the Zoe. You're the one who uses the Saren. Do you agree with what they're thinking, or do you actually feel that those two weapons are misrepresented?
I feel like I'm being accused now. Like, oh, he's using OP weapons. No,
Burn the witch.
Yeah. Burn the witch. No. I think the Sauron's definitely OP. Like, I've been playing it a bit, and I've just been switching off my main mag gun for the Sauron because it is so much better, really. Even against vehicles, it seems to do like similar damage. So I think that needs a bit of tweaking. Maybe like a shot taking off it or something. I don't know exactly how to do it, but that one's definitely like OP. But I think the Zoe issue is a bit overstated. Like, and people say that they're always spam with them, but I've been playing for a long time, and even like looking from the VS side, you only see still the same amount of maxes that would have been pulled before, like maybe 4 maxes if you see a platoon around. It's like not a huge Zerg unless it's an advanced squad going for it. And obviously any advanced squad with, say, 9 maxes with engineers and medic is always going to be quite OP, but probably does need a bit tweaking, like making it a bit slower, but I don't know, like, I'd rather have like a jetpack or some fun ability rather than completely nerfing the Zoe, because if you nerf the Zoe now, then I don't know why you'd play a max like before. VS didn't really pull their maxes that much. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, those two things, I mean, obviously the Saren and the Zoe are the most controversial things right now, and that's what is supposed to give the VS their current popularity. So, let's say that they were brought in line and, they were nerfed or changed or whatever. Let's say, like Sony has shown brilliance and suddenly they're not super overpowered in any way, and no one perceives them like that. Do you actually believe that the overpopulation of the Vanu is going to go away? And if so, what do you think, where would the 4th faction go to next? Charlie?
I think it depends a lot. For as you say, if the Zoe was what brought people to the VS in the first place, it's been around for quite a while now. Those people are probably quite invested in their characters. Maybe they've bought some guns with station cash. Maybe they've gained a lot of certs, that kind of thing. They probably won't want to change if it's nerfed or adjusted a bit too harshly. You will get some people that flip over, but I think those people are always going to flip. There's nothing you can do to stop them from flipping. They're just going to go to, like you said a while ago, before flavor of the month kind of thing. But yeah, it's kind of hard to say. I think that on the flip side of that, even though you would have a higher population, those people are still going to be quite new. And I think if the Zoe in particular was brought down a bit more, the more experienced players in the TRNC probably wouldn't have such a problem. Because like one of the issues is just killing the damn things. Like they just sidestep out of the way once you're close to getting them. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you'd see too much of a drop, but I think another part of it is being recommended server, or whatever it is, when new people sign up and it says, go on Woodman. That's probably a bigger contributing factor than anything else right now.
Ganelon, do you actually want the fourth faction to come back to the Terrans?
Well, I don't really believe we've had the fourth faction for that long. I think maybe a week after release. Maybe when the HE Prowler was discovered. That didn't really take all that long from my experience, and it wasn't as bad as the current VR's over, or TR on the pub, whatever you prefer. But I think that it's not just the weaponry. I was curious about it at first, because normally, weapon imbalances wouldn't create such a population imbalance, but I think it was a VS player himself who showed the video at Frankie, and which would explain it quite well, considering the release date of that video and the date when VS Pop started increasing rapidly. So I think that it's just a lot of fanboys wanking off to Frankie and wanting to play with him currently.
So, okay, let me rephrase the question from earlier. Like, do you not want them to come back? Instead, do you want the fourth faction in the TR? No,
I do not. What I want would preferably just be balanced populations to, get good fights. Because if you have the fourth faction, I can imagine it being really boring with just 50 people hanging around the spawn to get the one kill, maybe.
Joshino, current overpopulation of the VS vanishes overnight and everything is balanced. How do you think the VS is going to cope with that? Is it going to be a positive response? Are people going to cry? Is the VS going to stay as strong as they are perceived right now?
Well, I think most VS, like probably MLP included, hate the fact that we're overpopulated now. Like throughout, we've always been kind of like either lower popped or like on a level just slightly higher than TR recently. But I mean, it's not going to change. We've still got the same core of people that have been here for like 2 months probably, and fighting the fight. But I don't know if it's a fourth faction. I think we're just getting new players and they see VS being higher up and just coming onto VS because they're like, oh, they must be a good faction. I don't think it's like people are switching over because they're losing so much. You'd probably hear of them if they were coming over because they could probably come into KOTV. I've only ever heard of one NC guy that came into our clan before and said, yeah, we've switched over. I don't know if there's actually a fourth faction of people switching over more than there's new players like the Frankie guy, but I think that'll die off soon. And today there's 35 NC and VS, so I don't know if it's still Vano massive pop. I just don't know. Yeah.
So you think that Vanu can keep up their current level of play without being overpop?
Sure, yeah, but I mean, before in the alerts, TR were doing quite well, but we're still winning most of them. But the TR were definitely pulling out the stops and coming towards winning. And sometimes it was one region off, they'd lose by or we'd lose by. You know what I'm saying? And I think NC recently have got a bit more organised. If you're noticing alerts, they're doing a bit better. I don't know if that's just because of population though. In the massive alerts, it's probably impossible for the TR to get to every continent, and that does really suck. But I'd rather it be alerts where it's 33, 33, 33, but I can see how that could be a problem for the VS like it was for the NC, where you just can't get onto the continent and there's just loads of noobs there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. Okay, I think we talked about all this population and the op stuff and so on. like in detail right now, and all of you guys have given your opinions. Let's talk about something that has absolutely nothing to do with this, but is actually quite interesting for the future of Planetside 2. Planetside 2 on the PlayStation 4. Now, I have watched the SOE live stream, I think it was yesterday, with Higby and T-Ray, and they actually had the producer or whatever, like the guy in charge of the PlayStation 4 version. And apparently, they are going to work on having cross-server gameplay, which means PlayStation 4 and PC. Now, of course, they said they don't want to have people with keyboard and mouse completely wrecking the people with gamepads, so they're working on something there, but they definitely said they want to have cross-server gameplay. What do you guys think is going to... What does that mean for Planetside 2, for PC, for us players, when the PlayStation 4 crowd comes out? Charlie?
I think it's going to be one hell of a double-edged sword, to be honest with you. Positive, there's going to be a big population boost. Like, a lot of people are going to buy the PS4, and a lot of people are going to want to play a free-to-play MMO FPS on it, so there's going to be lots more people to shoot. But it comes with two things. One, as I'm sure we're all aware, console gamers do not have the best reputation. I don't know about you, but I don't particularly want to be insulted by a 13-year-old from South Dakota or something while I'm playing the game. I get enough of that on my TS already. But I think we're in danger of maybe the community becoming a bit more sour, and also console gamers, as much as they like to think that they're hardcore gamers, they are just a lot more casual than PC gamers. Like, if you actually compare Planetside to the rest of the FPSs that are out there at the moment that have an online persistence, it's surprisingly hardcore. We have friendly fire on it, we have proper squad organization, we have outfit systems, all these different kinds of things. We have an actually good flight physics model, no health regenerating vehicles. Obviously there's nanite repair, but compared to Battlefield 3, like, I don't know if you guys were Battlefield fans, but when Battlefield 3 came out and it said, oh yeah, we're not doing all that stuff you loved, everyone was like, oh, what the hell? You've just dumbed this down for consoles. And I honestly think there is a bit of a risk that is going to happen with Planetside 2. I'm going to hope that it doesn't, because, to be honest, I think the dev team are actually pretty good and they've got a good vision for the game. But, you know, if the PS4 population starts outweighing the PC population, and the PS4 population says, oh, what the hell, we've got, like, friendly fire on and stuff, and I don't want to play with this, why can't I just, like, quickscope and stuff like that? I think that could be pretty bad for the game. But I'm cautiously optimistic, because I think the dev team's good, and I don't think that's stupid. They know what they want to make.
So cautious optimism from our NC representative. Ganelon, lots of people, especially older Planetside 1 players, have said about Planetside 2 that it feels very dumbed down for the new generation, and lots of people have said before even the announcement, were sure that the game was coming to PlayStation 4 and said, oh, that all makes sense, the game has been dumbed down for consoles. Agree or disagree?
I think I disagree with the notion, because Planetside 2 is still a lot harder to play than most of the FPSs out there, like Call of Duty. That is nothing compared to this, and Battlefield 3 has limited amounts of vehicles, whereas Planetside 2 you can just be, you can just have 50 tanks opposing you, so it's a lot harder than your normal FPS that also gets released on console. And the dumbing down, I think it's simply a notion of going with a new generation, going with faster TTK. Because the old games that had higher TTK, they just don't really do as well anymore. They don't sell a lot, and I don't think they would be popular in the current generation of gaming. So I don't think it has been dumbed down because of the console. I think it has been, dumbed down because it's just a new generation. They wanted Planetside 2, but they had to adjust it for, the new generation of gamers who wanted the faster kills, less complicated bullshit with the search system for Planetside 1. That more easier access to it and stuff.
Joshino, console gamers suddenly running around on our servers doing what console gamers do. What's your stance on that? Good or bad for the game?
I probably agree with Charlie. That's probably not an amazing thing, but it's a bit too early to say whether it's going to properly happen. Like I said, they're trying to get it to work, but we don't know if it's going to be just like maybe they'll just like integrate the MLG part, the part they're working on now. They might just have it so that they can have the competitive play and not on the proper servers, because that might be a bit harder to do to get them on with the PC gamers on the same server. You never know, but I don't know. I wouldn't I don't know. I just agree with Charlie really. Can't really say much more there.
So even if it means new pop for the game, you think it's the wrong kind of pop?
Well, probably. I mean, there's a part of the PC gaming free to play that's a bit dodgy. Like the kids, there's sometimes screaming kids on the VS side, and people like Dubstep 402 High for Life or whatever his name is.
YOLO Swag.
Yellow Swag.
YOLO Swag's a legend.
No.
He is on all
platoon.
factions, isn't he?
He joins every platoon and
factions.
plays it.
Well, then recruit him.
But yeah. Did you? But yeah, there's like guys that'll do that and like balls and things. And if you go on the official Planetside 2 forums, there's a lot of, I don't know, like really crappy posts. I prefer the Reddit subreddit because it's a bit more friendly and, everyone's a bit more mature. But yeah, I mean, you don't want more of that really. But I mean, not all console games are like that, but more people have a mic as well, so you'll get people just chatting over their voice comms, and everybody will be on like voice activation or something. Because I don't think they do have push to talk. I don't think they have push to talk on their like controllers, so absolutely suck.
There's also the issue with it that a console's just cheaper than a PC. Like the average PC that you have to play Planetside 2 on is quite a bit more expensive than the current console, and the console will just be more accessible to those children. So yeah.
You're being
or
classist
to
now.
people who just want to play the game. I mean, $399 or 399 euros to get into Planetside 2, and we all know it is going to run well for a console, so you won't have to worry about having tons and tons of expensive hardware. Who knows? Maybe you'll actually have mature players who are putting their keyboard and mouse into the console and are actually joining the community proper because they know it's just cheaper than buying an expensive gaming PC.
Could be, yeah. I think what we should do collectively, as a server, we should come up with a list of demands to SOE. So, right, okay. We want you to put it on PS4, but we want these things. We don't want anyone with controllers. They've got to have voice, push to talk, this kind of stuff. We need to safeguard ourselves. We need to safeguard our server from the horrible TV invaders.
Well, I think they're going to give us a lot of details at SOE Live when that comes. So that's when they said they wanted to unveil stuff. Now, people, I would say that we have been going for quite good time. I thank you guys very much. We got through quite a few topics, and I think we got some good opinions on that from all three factions. Thank all three of you for coming. This was the first show of Woodman Live, and I hope you guys had as much fun being here as I had hosting it. Again, thank you very much for showing up. And we're going to end this with another 10 seconds for each one of you to say whatever you want. Let's go, Charlie, your 10 seconds.
Okay, if you're NC and you want to join up with a fun organised outfit, join the Rebel Rifles at www.easy-gaming.co.uk, part of the Easy Gaming Group.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Ganelon, your 10 seconds to say whatever you want to the people listening out there. Go.
I had to say hi to someone's ponies from my second in command, so I'll do that now.
And there he goes saying hi. Joshino, also for you, 10 seconds, whatever you want, everything goes now.
Bosom. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you guys very much for joining me, and thank everyone else for listening. This was Woodman Live. I'm IP Kleika signing out, and I'll come back to you maybe in a week or two. I'll post it on the Woodman subreddit. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.